Welcome to Storytime ASMR with me, Neil Winters. This is the first episode, and the format will change as time goes on. What I envision is reading items I've written myself, plus some books in the public domain, and possibly a few rants here and there. Thank you for joining me, and let's get going. Before we begin, take a minute to relax your body and mind. Start with your breathing. Notice the rhythm of your breathing as you inhale and exhale. Take a deep breath in through your nose, fill your lungs, and exhale. Feel the tension of the day slipping away. Take another breath in and out. Focus on your body, starting with your feet and toes. Stretch your feet. Take a breath, release, and relax them. Now tighten and stretch your calves. Hold the stretch for a moment. Take a breath and release. Now tighten your core. Take in a breath and release. Ball up your hands into fists, tighter. Breathe in and release. Now relax your hands. Stretch your fingers. Wiggle them around and relax them. Flex your shoulders backward. Breathe in. Breathe out. And release. Shrug your shoulders and acknowledge any tension you may be feeling there. Take a deep breath in and release a big sigh into the air. It's time for a relaxing bedtime story about my daughter Savannah and me from when I was in college. When Savannah was 1, I was married, in school full-time, and worked a part-time job at a law office to supplement my student loans. My family lived in married student housing. I worked 4 hours a day at the law office after attending a full day's worth of university classes. Every day I came home from school, Savannah was so excited to see me that she jumped up and down and ran to me for a great big hug. This warmed my heart, and I never wanted to do anything to hurt Savannah. I unfortunately made her sad almost every day when I left for work. One time, as usual, I was leaving for school on an otherwise ordinary day. I had been home from school for about an hour, and then it was time to leave. Savannah had been so excited to see me and spend time with me that she couldn't imagine that I wanted to do anything besides play with her and make her laugh. As I was walking out the door, my wife Naomi recorded a video of my leaving. In that video, I announced to no one in particular that it was time for me to go to work. I picked up Savannah, held her to my shoulder, and hugged her. She wrapped her tiny arms tightly around my neck, planted a slobbery kiss on my cheek, and laughed because she was so excited to get a hug from her daddy. Then the unthinkable happened. I put Savannah back down on the ground and backed up to the door. I grabbed the door handle and said goodbye to Savannah and Naomi. Even though she was only a year old, Savannah understood what was happening, and immediately a sad, heartbroken expression crossed her face. She couldn't talk yet, but in her eyes she said, "No, Daddy, don't go. Seeing you leave is one of the worst things that could possibly happen today." I reluctantly closed the door to the apartment and departed, feeling guilty for leaving my little girl behind. In the meantime, Savannah cried inconsolably for the next 2 or 3 minutes until Naomi sidetracked her with a fun game. Fortunately for Savannah, she had a short attention span and was ready to move on after a few minutes. Those 2 minutes were terribly heartbreaking for her, though. On another occasion, when Naomi was driving me to work at the law office, Savannah was in a child seat in the back of the car and excited to go on another car ride. She loved car rides. She got to see the small college town in which we lived out the car windows and wave at all the nice people we passed. Plus, there was a fun game attached to her car seat that provided plenty of distraction for her. But all of this was forgotten when Naomi dropped me off at the office. I leaned over and gave Naomi a kiss and a hug goodbye, saying I love you, see you when I'm done. I then opened the door to the back seat of the car and gave Savannah a hug and a kiss goodbye. Once again, Savannah wrapped her tiny arms around my neck and planted a slobbery kiss on my cheek. She was so excited that her daddy took the time to walk around the car and give her a hug. What could be better? But then I unconscionably closed the door, gently but firmly. Uh-oh. Savannah realized what was happening as she saw my back walking to the office door. She immediately, once again, began to cry. She loved her daddy and didn't want to see him go. How could he think to walk away from her when there was so much fun to be had between a daddy and his daughter? Her attention span was fortunately still short. She was quickly sidetracked playing with her car seat game. It had neat little spinny balls on a bar that she incessantly pushed and pulled back and forth. Thankfully for Naomi, the crisis was averted and Savannah was happy again. But that was a close one. Whew! We didn't particularly enjoy Savannah crying in the car. When Savannah was 4, the three of us moved out of married student housing and into a regular apartment. I no longer worked at the law office. Shortly after moving, we welcomed a second daughter, Mia, and a family of 3 became a family of 4. Mia brought an added layer of benevolent chaos to the family. We lived on the 3rd floor of a 3-story apartment building, and 2 young children were not quiet, especially as Mia approached her first birthday. The downstairs neighbors, 2 bachelors, did not appreciate having 2 young children with loud little feet living above them. The bachelors resorted to attaching a shoe to the end of a broom handle and pounding their ceiling whenever the 2 sets of young feet got too loud. We laughed it off and made the most of a memorable situation, but were glad that our living arrangement was only temporary. Towards the end of our college career, we got mountain bikes. This was a mountain biking town after all, and we wanted to get some exercise and have a fun time with our 2 daughters. In addition to the bikes, we purchased a tow-along trailer, sometimes called a burley. I would put the 2 girls in the trailer and pull them while Naomi rode on her bike beside us. The town had plenty of hilly streets as well as plenty of flat roads to cruise along with the kids. I was always amazed at how much extra effort it took to pull the trailer behind me. What would normally be a leisurely ride around town turned into a workout with the trailer in tow. It was worth it for me because I got to spend time with my kids, but boy was it exhausting. Savannah and Mia loved riding in the trailer, much more than riding in a car. They were able to feel the wind in their hair and see the world zooming by at ground level. They also got to wear cool bike helmets and cuddle close together, squealing for joy any time I sped up or went over a small bump. One day, I decided I was going to make a lasting memory with Savannah. Yes, I actually had that thought. Naomi and Mia were shopping together while I was home alone with Savannah. While Savannah was playing in the living room, I looked at her and asked, "Do you want to go for a bike ride?" Savannah's immediate response was an enthusiastic yes. We walked down the 3 flights of stairs to the parking lot and made our way to the garage where the bike and trailer were stored. Savannah was so excited that she skipped along the sidewalk and begged me to move faster, Daddy, faster. I consequently picked up my pace. I opened the garage and hooked up my bike to the trailer and put Savannah's helmet on her head and my helmet on mine. I pulled the garage door closed and started on a ride to the University Quad, a large grass field in the middle of campus. The elevation gain from my apartment complex to the university was probably around 200 or 300 feet. That doesn't sound like much, but try pulling a trailer behind a mountain bike up that incline. The last part of the ride was a long climb up a hill. Undaunted, yet determined, I did the necessary work to pull Savannah up the hill. By the time we got to the quad, I was exhausted, but totally exhilarated at the same time for having tackled that challenging ride. The grass at the quad was long, and there were a bunch of dandelions growing, most of which had gone to seed. After I took Savannah out of the trailer, she immediately ventured out among the grass, picking dandelions and blowing the seeds into the air. Our arrival was later in the evening, so the colors of the setting sun were reflected in Savannah's dusty blonde hair. I honestly felt total joy and contentment as I sat on the grass and watched Savannah run around the field, picking dandelions and blowing the seeds indiscriminately around her. I knew this was a moment I never wanted to forget. Have you ever had those moments and want to do everything you can to preserve them in your mind? I didn't have a camera and didn't have a cell phone at the time. It was pre-2000 after all, so I did my best to etch it permanently into my memory. This story is a result of that memory etching. As things always do, our time at the quad reached an end. Savannah wasn't too happy about having to head back home, but the sun was setting and we needed to get home before it was completely dark. The ride back to the apartment complex was much easier than the ride to the university because it was almost all downhill and all I had to do was coast and let gravity do the work. Coasting downhill after working so hard to climb the hill to the university was satisfying beyond words because it was a return on the investment of the climb. We got back home, put the bike away, and went to our apartment. Naomi and Mia had also returned from their outing. Naomi looked at me with my disheveled hair from wearing a helmet and went close from sweating and gave me a knowing smile. She said, "You took Savannah on a ride, didn't you?" "Yes. Where did you go?" "We went to the quad." "That must have been a great way to spend time with Savannah." It was. With that, our small family relaxed for the evening, content and satisfied after an eventful, memorable day. That's all for the first episode. If this actually gets going, please like and subscribe. I don't know if anyone will actually watch this or listen to this. This is more of a thing for me to get my voice out into the world and broadcast myself. I always wanted to be a radio disc jockey, and now I'm a boring accountant, so this is something to scratch that itch. Anyway, I hope you have a great night and a wonderful day tomorrow or today whenever you're listening to this, and thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.